What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? This is Tammy, and this is For the Love of, and today we're going to be talking about For the Love of albums and album sales. So, what is an album? Here, the definition of an album is a collection of audio recordings, whether it be through compact discs, vinyl records, audio tapes, or even digital, that are compiled together to create a cohesive project. In hip hop, albums have been important for years. I mean, since the inception of hip hop. An album is basically an artist's body of work. Think of a painter and they're creating like a collection of paintings that they're trying to sell off. That's basically what an album is for a musician themselves or for a rapper. And in this day and age, the way we consume albums are a lot different than back then. See, back then, a lot of albums that you would have certain songs that would stretch on for length, or you would have certain albums that would mix with concepts. A lot of albums nowadays are more so like playlists that are just being fed to us, you know? No real comprehensive story inside the album, no real concept there, no real even like projection of oneself. More so just like a collection of songs that that they would want to put out there that potentially maybe has a radio hit, or potentially has a hit that goes into the club. And I think that's one of the big things that become very detrimental to hip hop and to hip hop artists. Now, granted, there's a lot of artists out there that's still rocking on, dropping fire albums, dropping great albums. I mean, this year alone, the West Coast had something crazy to say this year. You know, you had Scuba Q, Vince Staples, Kendrick Lamar, Tyler the Creator, and of course, the big one that made me start this video, Doechii herself dropping an album, all creating this beautiful sound movement that's just coming out of the West. And it made me realize that there's not a lot of artists nowadays that really care for to hone their albums and the way that their albums sound. When you go back in time and you listen to some of the old albums, when you listen to Biggie's Ready to Die or Tupac's All Eyes on Me, or even Nas's Illmatic, you know, it brings you into another space that you're not really familiar with. It opens you up into a door to allow you to see through the lens of that rapper. So when we get new albums nowadays, I'm not gonna call no rapper out nowadays, but when we get new rappers who drop an album that when you listen to it, you're just like, oh yeah, you know, there was like 2, 3 songs I want to add to my playlist. You know, oh yeah, that was a nice little bop there. There was a nice little jig there. It kind of feels a little empty. So albums have really lost their holding and their standing in hip hop. But an album is important. When you as an artist are making an album, you are letting the listener into your own world through whatever means and mediums that you want. I'm talking about from the album cover, from the skits that you put on the album, the features you have on the album, the way you set the album tracks and lay it out is all very important. It's very vital. And the artists who take the time to really curate that, really go towards that, are the ones who really stand out above the rest. Tyler the Creator, his Chromatic album this year, if it wasn't for Kendrick Lamar, I might have to say it's the best album that dropped. I'm still debating sometimes, him and Side Baby, but we get to Side Baby a little later. But him and Kendrick Lamar dropped some really powerful albums that really had some great structures. I mean, from the intro of Sake Chromas to the ending where he's talking about all of his struggles with his parents and his family and all of these things that he's dealing with and aging and getting older and his mindset changing. It shows you into like the type of person who he is and he's becoming. Because when you go back and listen to old Tyler the Creator, I mean like Goblin, you know, Cherry Bomb, like all of those things, you know what I'm saying? It's a very big difference from old Tyler into new Tyler. And I think that's one thing that makes albums so cool, so important because it shows the evolution and the growth from Kendrick Lamar's Section 80 to Good Kid, Mad City to Pimp a Butterfly to Damn to Mr. Morale to now GNX. You see the progression and evolution of the artist and how their mindset has changed and shifted. When you get certain artists who drop just collections of songs for radio hits, there's no real depth into them. There's no real understanding of what you're going through and how your life is changing. We get it. You like money. We get it. You like cars. We get it. You like girls. We get it. You like to flex. You like to buy the diamond ring and the icy chains. We get it. You like to flaunt all your stuff. That's cool, but when I listen to a nice album like GNX and I hear The Heart Part 6 and I'm hearing that, oh, Kendrick Lamar is the reason why Black Hippie did not flourish, I'm thinking to myself, like, that's a really beautiful insight into why, you know, this has been this way. And as albums continue and more artists make more albums, they give them the opportunity and the chance to be able to express themselves in a way that's it's never really been seen before. I'm really excited for some of the new artists, Doechii. I'm really excited for her next album, for her next actual studio album that she's going to drop. She's been getting a lot of hate and flack lately. If you hating on Doechii, talking about she makes some slave type people music, free to slave type music, something's wrong with you, especially if you black. But regardless of all that, I'm really excited to hear what she has to say because I'm excited to see where these albums are progressing. So I want to know what y'all think. What do y'all think about albums? Do you think they're important nowadays, or do you think that, it's just a collection of songs? Let's listen to what we want to listen to. Do you think that artists should put more effort into albums? Do you think that artists should take more time to really listen to older albums to curate their newer albums? And what do you think albums are going in the state of hip hop? Me personally, I hope that people start putting more and more effort into their albums, into the features that they're using, the production, the beat making, all of that stuff. Me, I'm an artist too. I'm making my own mixtape right now / album, and that I'm taking time with every song I'm working on personally. I'm making the beats personally. I'm hitting up my friends to help me make the beats. I'm writing the lyrics over and over again, practicing my vocal inflections, researching, doing all these type of things just to put the effort in there. Because if it's a project of art that I'm making, you will want the person to receive it well enough. So let me know what y'all think. Let me know how this coming. If you make music, shout out in the comments, post your stuff. We go listen. And yeah, this is For the Love of Albums, and I hope you all have a great Sunday. Much love.